Oh, hello, Keithifer.
Oh, hey, what's going on? Oh, my microphone is wiggling.
Wiggling?
Around. Yeah, what's up?
How's it wiggling?
It was just loose and I had to tighten
Oh,
the thing.
yeah, okay.
So I swung it over towards me and it was like a fucking pendulum.
Oh, hey. Welcome to the final...
Oh my god, I forgot we were playing Mario RPG.
Yeah, it's the final Mario game on the Super Nintendo.
I'm thrilled to be playing this game and even more thrilled to not be playing the last game and to not hear about anyone talking about how we played the last game ever again.
I share that thrill with you. So this is a super late game. I specifically remember, like, my friend renting this when we all had N64s and thinking how weird it was that we were playing a Super Nintendo game.
Yeah.
Like, my first current console, the first console I got when it was still, like, a thing that people made games for was the N64.
Yeah.
So I feel like, in my mind, there's a huge gap between the Super Nintendo and the N64, but actually they were, like, right next to each other.
I'm actually shocked. What year did the N64 come out in?
96.
Okay,
This is 1995.
I got an N64 in 1997 or 98.
I got mine in 97. Maybe we don't talk about N64 at the end of the Super Nintendo. I don't know.
No. I was just but the reason I bring it up is because when I played all of these games, I've talked about this a little bit before, but I was like between the ages of like 8 and 12, I was an emulator fiend.
Yeah.
And I learned how to emulate shit when I was like 5 or 6.
I had never even heard of emulators. We've talked about this. I went to your house and you were playing Pokemon Yellow on a computer, and I was like, "How? What?
In Japanese
demon
before
magic
it was released
is
in
this?"
America, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Ted showed me how. My cousin Ted showed me how.
Yeah, of course.
Could
I say real quick?
Yeah.
When you buy a special,
Okay, yeah.
yeah, Keith just looked at the screen.
Yep.
There's a special magic that I've discovered about buying used copies of RPG cartridge games because you get their save files and you can learn a lot about a person based on what they name their RPG
Do you
characters.
think that Clint and Clit were the same person, but he got lazier over time?
I think it was a person named Clint who thought he was being funny. And he was.
He was being
well
funny.
done, Clint. You're hilarious. How do I erase? Oh, new game. Okay. So, I'm just gonna be Mario, right? Like, let's not rock the boat here. Let's not get crazy. So the important thing about this game is that it was made by Squaresoft.
Yeah.
Who, of course, were the reigning kings of the console RPG at the time. Makers of Final Fantasy, if you don't know for some weird reason.
Final Fantasy. That's the one where you take a road trip?
Yeah. It's the one where a bunch of dudes get in a car and they drive.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, no. It's that MMO series. You know, oh, man. What happened, Final Fantasy? Anyway.
I heard people really like that fucking road trip game. I don't know. Isn't there a demo out or something?
There's a demo out. Yeah. I'm hoping it's good. I
heard that people like the game, or at least like the characters.
I definitely hope it's good. But up until this point, the Final Fantasy games were all on Nintendo systems. Square and Nintendo were kind of like closely related to each other. And then this was the closest they ever worked together. Obviously, they made a Nintendo game, and then shortly after this, they abandoned Nintendo in favor of Sony to get because Sony's console had CDs and Nintendo went cartridge, and they said, "All right, well, see ya," and then went to light the world on fire on that console.
Yeah. And things have never been the same since. Most of Europe is still charred to shit. I played the shit out of this game. Did you know that I played the shit out of this game?
I did not know that.
Yeah,
did not know that.
Listen, Carson, Daly. Listen, Carson Daly. I'm
me.
Sorry about all of the things that
this
happened
week's
to you.
number 5 video coming up. All right, I'm controlling. This is all pre-rendered stuff. A lot of the late Super Nintendo game stuff was all like pre-rendered 3D models because it was their desperate attempt to put 3D on a Super Nintendo. Oh God! Oh jeez.
Yeah. So I when I was probably around 9.
What?
I was in the throes of ROM madness. I was on Cult of Kefka every day of the week.
Yeah. Well, of course. I mean, you could not emulate this when it came out.
No.
This was like years later.
When I was 9, it was 2001.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Which was, that was about the time maybe I can, no. Thought maybe I could stomp on his head.
So I was splitting my time between, like, playing Halo on my, on Ted's Xbox and playing Super Mario RPG. What is it? Was that 2000? Was this 2002? Was Halo 2002?
I don't know. No, Halo was 2001.
Yeah.
Late 2001.
Yeah.
But the thing about this game was I didn't even know what an RPG was when it came out.
Right.
So I saw the title and it might as well have been like Super Mario LNF. I was just like, what is this like random 3-letter combination?
Right. Yeah.
Like, what is this?
It's just Super Mario parentheses kind of like Pokemon.
Yeah. Before this was, I believe this was the first RPG I ever played that was not Pokemon. Like, and for some reason in my head, those are two different things. Like, I never played these games and went like, oh, this is like Pokemon, but not with monsters. For some reason in my mind, it was like a totally different thing that had no previous analog in my game playing experience.
Pokemon does a lot to mask that it's an RPG by like obfuscating every single thing that makes it work.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just remember just thinking that, like, it was such a bizarre notion to me, the idea that you were just going in a menu and picking attack and then it happens. It was so bizarre to me. Mm-hmm. But I thought it was awesome. I was like, totally wrapped up in it.
Yeah. I have almost no memory of this game except for putting probably dozens of hours into it.
So quickly here, there's actually a timing mechanic. If I just attack him, when Mario goes to punch him, I push the A button a second time, and that's when he does his, like, uppercut.
Yeah.
Does, like, a 1-2 kind of thing. And this was the only Mario RPG that was made by Square, but they kind of have since gone on to make several turn-based Mario RPGs that, from what I understand, are, like, almost all great. They're all, like, hugely acclaimed. Oh.
Is Bowser cheering you on?
I do know, I'll spoil, I do know that at some point Bowser joins your team. That was the other thing that was crazy to me, was because my friend rented this game. And so, of course, same thing. It had someone else.
Which friend was this?
Chris French.
Chris French.
Same guy who introduced me to Final Fantasy VII, which was the other, like... That was, like, the real RPG that I got sucked into and, like, kind of changed the way I looked at video games in a way.
Yeah, Final Fantasy VII was, like, your favorite game for years.
It really was. And whatever. I won't apologize for that. I think it's become in vogue to be like, oh, Final Fantasy VII is not as good as people... whatever.
Right. No, you were telling me that Final Fantasy VII was your favorite game when, like, you were 10. Like, we're talking years and years ago.
Yeah.
Or maybe when I was 10. I don't know. I don't know how time works or when games were released.
But yeah, so, like, we rented that game and had, like...
Oh, Bowser's so sad.
There was a late game save file on it, so I was like, oh shit, Bowser's on my team. And also there's a weird guy in a blue hat named Gino.
Oh yeah, Gino.
See, I rented it that one time and, like, really didn't play it much after that, so I just remember there being, like, a dude in a pointy hat and just being like, who the hell is this guy? And then I think, like, years later I looked back on it and was like, was that Link? Was, like, Link in that Mario RPG? Am I crazy?
It was Gino.
But no, I guess it was Gino. I don't know. Is he a puppet, or am I
Gino is a
confusing him with-
hopeful that did not fulfill the hero's prophecy. He wanted to be Link. See, it's even got a Master Sword.
There you go. Okay, so the subtitle I forgot to mention is Legend of the Seven Stars. Oh, it's right here. It's coming up right here. Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars should show up there at any point now. Legend of the Seven Stars!
Oh, there, it just flashed real quick, just for a second.
I guess not.
Oh, there are the stars, though.
Maybe it's one of those things where it was just called Super Mario RPG in Japan, and so, like, that's why we're playing the game, there's no subtitle, and they just kind of
And then when they brought it to America, they're like, well, they're not going to know what the game's about. You have to know...
It is weird to just call it RPG. Like, you would think that when you're making a Mario game and you're possibly appealing to a much wider audience that doesn't know about RPGs, that you do like the Paper Mario thing. You just call it something else and don't try to, because RPG just confuses people that don't know what RPGs are.
Right.
Like me when I was 7 or whatever.
Right, yeah.
Of course, Mario's house has a pipe on it.
Well, how else is he going to get in and out? Fucker doesn't use doors.
Oh, okay, there's a run button. Run button confirmed. Great.
Did you go to bed?
I did go to bed. Is that how I save, or...?
No, it's how you get some shut-eye, though.
Alright,
It's how you get your 40 winks.
Yeah.
Why is it 40 winks? Who decided how many winks?
I haven't heard that phrase in so long.
No, that's a fucking grandma
That expression,
thing.
I should say. 40 winks. I don't know. Oh, here we go. That looks like a save block, if I've ever seen one. So this is I guess I haven't mentioned this is like a hugely acclaimed game. I think people really like this game.
Yeah, people have been asking us to play this whole game for a long time.
Yeah, this has been one of those games that everyone's been really nervous that we weren't gonna play. Like, you're gonna play Mario RPG? You're gonna play Mario RPG? You're gonna play Mario RPG? And I try
we played Super Mario No Sweater. Like,
yeah, exactly. I try not to tip my hand because I like it to sort of be a surprise, so I don't really respond when people ask that question, but I want to be like, what the fuck don't you understand about every game with Mario in it? Like, right. I couldn't have made myself clearer.
We played F-Zero.
Yeah, we played F-Zero. Like, we played F-Zero and To the Earth. Like, do you think we're gonna play Mario RPG? Are we just going back to Mario Bowser's Castle? I guess we go to Bowser's Castle and it's like, oh, we can't get in or something.
No, I don't think that's it. Oh, okay, never mind. There we go. Fucking spooky music.
Yeah, I know.
We are probably not... We're just gonna play this until we're done, right? We're not...
Yeah.
We're
done with the game. We're gonna play until we're done with the game.
Not until we're finished. No, we're gonna play until we're finished, but not until we're done.
Those are the two big questions we've been getting a lot of. Are you gonna play the Mario RPGs? And the other question is, are you gonna play the Mario RPGs to completion?
Mm-hmm.
Like, no! Are you crazy?
These are...
Did you not see how it
You guys got mad about 8 hours of Yoshi's Island. Like, the completion time for that game is like only an hour or like an hour and a half less than what we did.
Yeah.
Which is where like people got so mad that we were 90 minutes over schedule.
But did someone say that?
No. But everybody's like, it's spending too long. So you're taking too long and you're bad. It's like, well, if we were bad, stop it.
I don't mean I'm not trying to beat up on people because it's not the viewer's responsibility necessarily to know what the fuck we're doing, but I continue to be surprised by people's lack of understanding of the format of this Let's Play. It's like all the ones that are like the main Mario games we play all the way through, and then everything else we play like about at least 20 to 30 minutes or more if we want to. Like that's the format.
Yeah.
So if your question is just take whatever game you're wondering about, put it through the formula.
Yeah. The perfect analog is Knuckles Chaotix, where instead of doing 30 minutes of it or 40 minutes of it, we did like 3 hours of it 3 different times.
Oh, Mario just tried to mime to Toad that the bridge to Bowser's Castle fell by standing on a table, walking off in midair, and then hopping back onto the table before he fell to the ground.
Is this a game that supposes that Mario cannot speak?
I'm in favor of it. I mean, this was before Mario spoke.
No, it was not.
Well, of course. That at the time, that was
I remember hearing this story of what's the guy's name that voices Mario and Luigi and every fucking character?
Charles Martinet.
Charles Martinet, yeah. I saw an interview with Charles Martinet where he was talking about the casting for the role of Mario and how people were going in there and they were doing gruff Italian voices.
Right.
And he talks about like, so I wanted to do something different. So I went in and I did like, it's I'm a fun guy. He did a fun thing and everybody was like, oh, this is great because it's for kids and it's fun.
Yeah.
And in my head, that was like casting for Mario 64. And, like, it blows my mind to consider that conversation. Like, no, this is for a fucking stupid cartoon on the Super Nintendo like this. Like, it was like this big... The tone of the interview was like it was this big watershed moment, but it was really just, like...
Just some throwaway bullshit game.
He got pulled into doing the voice for years and years, because they were just like, let's just get the guy that already did this. We liked him before. Like, really, it was just that one thing. Just a weird recontextualization of that interview.
But who knows? Maybe they were like, well, we're gonna cast for this because we need a voice for this game. But we know,
you're right. Maybe they did already know.
Maybe it was the same thing. Maybe they started doing voice for Mario 64 and Game Gallery at the same time. But Game Gallery came out immediately because it took 5 minutes to develop. But like Mario 64 took years. I forgot to bring up at this point that Mario 64 actually started development as a Super Nintendo game that would use the Super FX chip for 3D polygons.
Yeah.
That's kind of why it was a launch game, but it felt so, like, awesome and polished, was because they had actually been working on it for, like, years and years.
Yeah. It did feel awesome and polished.
It did feel awesome and polished, Keith.
I'm agreeing with you. This has no bearing on what we're doing now, but I want to bring it up because I want this to come out, early on. I don't want this to come out like way after it's relevant.
Okay.
I watched Fast 5.
Oh?
Yeah. Which is a movie that you've been trying to get me to watch for basically ever.
I mean, I'm a little upset that you didn't watch the first 4 before that.
I only had time to watch one of them. And I was told if you're only going to watch one, start with the 5th one.
Well, yeah. If you're like a sane person.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to watch... Well, because here's the thing. I wanted to know if it was worth putting in the investment of watching the lesser Furiouses.
That's the wrong attitude to have, Keith.
But I think it paid off.
Yeah?
Here's the thing.
What? Tell me the thing.
People... I have issue with the way that people told me about their like of that movie.
How's that?
People say, like, it looks like a cheesy action movie, but it's actually, like, really cool and enjoyable and a lot of fun. And people kind of portray it like it's a good action movie. I feel like Fast 5 is actually, like, best case scenario Sharknado. Like, Sharknado is I want to say, I think that Fast 5 is a pretty good movie. And I think that Sharknado is not a good movie.
Okay.
But I think that they're both trying to do the same thing. I think that...
It's not Die Hard. It's not a movie where I'm watching it and going like, this movie's badass. I'm like watching it and laughing at it because it's like pretty stupid.
Yeah, people pitched it like it was Die Hard, including I think you at points.
No.
Or you said it was a good movie and you never... I was like, but it's good because it's bad, and you never said, no, it's good.
I don't think that's true.
That is absolutely true.
Well, I think I have been very clear about my feelings about Fast 5 are that it's like... I would say at best it is equal parts. Like, it's like kind of awful and kind of great, but I love the awful parts. I think it's awful in a
when
great
it's being
way.
Awful. Like, it's not awful on purpose, but they know, and they're not trying to fix those parts.
Exactly.
Which is why I say that it's kind of like Sharknado, where Sharknado, I think, does not do that very well. I think Fast 5 does do it pretty well. Like, the best part of all of Fast 5... Actually, sorry, the two best parts. The first best part is when The Rock shows up with his horrible goatee. His horrible, terrible goatee. And somebody says, "Do you want the good news or the bad news?" And he says, "You know I like my desserts first." And then he gives him the good news, and then The Rock says, "Now give me the veggies." And that was
I never noticed that.
That was the first best part.
That's fucking awesome. No, my favorite part about that same scene was that he says something like he's talking to a local police officer. He's like, "I need 2 things from you." And the first one is like, "I need this, and I need you to do this." But what's the second thing? Stay the hell out of my way.
Yeah, that was like fucking super. Oh, during that same conversation, there was a thing that I liked also, which was the cop that he's talking to, she joined the force after her husband was gunned down in a favela. And so he was like, you've got drive, and I've got something that tells me you're the only cop in Rio that can't be bought. Like, yeah, the only cop. Like, you found the one cop. Yeah, I thought that was funny. My real favorite part of the movie is so you know how Vin Diesel's acting style is incoherency. Just total like mumble nothing. Like he can't.
I guess so.
My favorite part of the whole movie was
when...
Am I
about to fucking eat it?
I think you're gonna eat it by these...
Oh no, it's hammer time!
Oh shit. I think you're gonna eat it.
Dude, I just ate it.
Isn't there anything you can do to block? Or like enhance a block? I think there's a button that you can press, like a timed button.
You might be right.
I have, despite all the hours I put into this game, zero memory of how it plays.
Well,
what's up?
Mario RPG, not starting off so friendly. What happened?
This is a mean game. This is a rude game for rude dudes.
Yeah, apparently. It turns out there was some kind of timed block mechanic that I was supposed to be doing.
Yes.
I'm
glad that I was right about that.
That I opted not to read about, and...
I'm glad that I was right about that, and also that I remembered so early.
Yeah, that's good, though we do have to watch this again now.
Yeah, whatever. So the second...
Fast 5.
My second favorite part of the movie, or I gave me the chronologically second, number one in my heart, was, do you remember Vince?
Vince.
I think his name was Vince. He has tattoos on his arms, and he's a shithead. And apparently he was in the first movie the one who kept on telling Vin Diesel, "Hey, Paul Walker's a cop."
Oh, okay.
And he's a shithead, and he sucks.
Is he the guy that dies?
Yeah, he dies.
He has a kid and he dies.
He has a kid and he dies.
That guy was a super shithead.
He was a shithead in his. He was a shithead in the 5th movie too.
Okay.
He rats on
man,
them, right?
I wish you had watched all those movies, because it's reminding me now that like the insane arc of Paul Walker's character across the first 4 movies, because the 5th movie was the first one in which Paul Walker was explicitly a criminal.
Yeah.
Like the first,
because he was undercover.
The first movie was an undercover cop that then began to sympathize with the criminals, so he lets them go at the end.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if he gets reprimanded or if no one finds out about that or what happens, but in like the second movie, he's still a cop.
Tokyo, no, that's the 3rd movie.
No, he's still a cop, but then I think at the end of the movie, he still steals like a bunch of money or something. And then like in the 4th movie, he's like in the FBI, like he just keeps failing upwards or something. And just like at the end of the movie, he just like Vin Diesel's character gets convicted and he just decides to break him out of prison, or like break him out of the prison bus on his way to prison. Like
that's what the 5th movie starts with that.
Yeah, exactly. That's like the God, I think it's the post-credit scene. I think at the end of the 4th movie, Vin Diesel's character gets convicted at the very end, and then there's credits, and then at the very end, like, you see them, like, he's on a prison bus, and then all of a sudden there's 4 super fast black cars pulling up on the bus, and then Paul Walker's there, and Paul Walker's girlfriend, and you're like, this is the best movie!
So it's the Vinny death scene.
Okay.
He's in a he ratted on them. They shot him. He's in the van, like dying to Vin Diesel. It was like, I wish you could meet my son. He's so fucking great. Like,
wait.
That
character ratted on Vin Diesel and Paul Walker?
Almost, yeah.
Oh, yeah, what a shithead.
Yeah.
I'm mad all over again.
Unless I misinterpreted what happened, but like I'm 99% sure that that's what happened. And he was at his death scene, and he is spilling his heart out to Vin Diesel about like wanting him to meet his son and how their friendship means a lot to him. And then Vin Diesel just like looks at him and has a very soft look in his eyes, and then just like completely unintelligible line. I have no idea what he said. He's like, and then fucking like what?
There's the one of like the sort of more, I don't know, I don't know what to call it. I guess it was supposed to be sort of like philosophical or something, or insightful about Vin Diesel's character in the first movie was he's a drag racer. Drag races are a quarter mile long.
Yeah.
Which you can infer from this line, because he says, "I live my life a quarter mile at a time. I live my life a quarter mile at a time." No idea what he said the first time I watched the movie. I was like, I live my life according to my all the time. That's what I got out of that, and I can't get anything else.
Just every other line that he says is like a, what did he say? Like, I can't. There's something about the way that he. Sometimes his voice is really deep.
You know what? Maybe I had 4 movies worth of getting to understand Vin Diesel. Maybe
yeah. Fucking yeah. I didn't love that. I didn't love Fast 5. I did really enjoy making fun of it. I really think that it nails being campy with like sort of a wink and a nudge.
Yeah.
We understand how fucking ridiculous this is. Like we didn't write it to be ridiculous. We want it to be taken seriously, but we also know that it's not serious, and we're glad that you don't think it's serious either.
Right. And that was the first time when they really nailed that. Is like each one before that was kind of like they're sort of like the first one was just accidentally ridiculous, and like the second one was just terrible, and then like the third and fourth ones were kind of getting to this like, oh, we're kind of silly on purpose but sort of serious, and
what I understand is that there was an executive they brought on a director and executive producer who was like a huge, like a legitimate fan of the series, and he was the one. He brought on Vin Diesel as an executive producer who had bounced on the series basically, and injected that sort of insincerity, like a tiny bit of insincerity into an otherwise
that was the thing. Was I have the 6th one on Blu-ray or something because I missed it in theaters. And yeah, there was like a little behind the scenes I got to hear from the director, and it was like, because there's the first 3 movies that are all just kind of weird, and then 4, 5, and 6 all feel very similar, and they kind of have the same attitude throughout all 3 of them, because it's this director, and he's like, he's just like genuinely a huge fan of the first movie, which makes me feel like, you made a couple movies that I really like a lot, but man, you're not smart, because you think the first Fast and the Furious movie is really good. Like, he said he was like in film school and like Fast and the Furious is one of his favorite movies. And I'm like, man, you're kind of dumb.
Well, there's film people are weird because they adopt like super. They have like all these weird priorities about what makes movies work.
That is true.
Like the fucking class of film heads that are in love with Michael Bay.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's super. Have we talked about this recently? I feel like we just talked about this. Like
no, I don't think so. But I will say, when I worked at Best Buy, we had a huge TV in the break room. I probably mentioned this, maybe not. We had a huge TV in the break room, and it had like all the movie channels, which sounds great, except your breaks are 30 minutes long, so you'd always come into the break room, a random movie is on, and you get to watch 30 minutes of it in the middle, and then you have to go back to work. It's fucking horrible. And so like that's how I watched like 30 minutes of Bad Boys 2, and it was fucking ludicrous. Like it was just the absolute fucking worst thing. Like, God, I wish I could remember more of it, but it was like there was like the shit got real moment, shit just got real, and then like all of a sudden they're going to Brazil or sorry, maybe not Brazil, some like South American country.
Okay.
And like the two, like Will Smith and Martin Lawrence are about to go do it themselves, and they're like, they walk out of a room at their like fucking police headquarters, and just like 5 like rough-looking dudes walk up to him and they're like, "We heard you're about to do something stupid. We want to help you out." And then it's just like smash cut to Brazil. It's like, what the fuck is happening in this movie?
Shit, I had something that I was gonna bring up. Oh, yeah, nope, lost it. Totally. Oh yeah, so yeah, fucking people, film heads. Like I'm just gonna call people who are into filmography film heads. Film heads' argument for Michael Bay is that like the fact that he like the thing that normal people don't like about Michael Bay, which is his super flashy, nauseatingly quick cuts, like from one thing to another, like half a second cuts to different, to, like in a rapid fire cuts to things, is super technically difficult. Like to make a coherent, to make a coherent scene out of 10 cuts in 4 seconds.
Can I say though?
Yeah.
Not always successful.
It's sure that it's hard, but just because it's hard doesn't mean I like to watch it. It's fucking like he's so talented. He's a fucking savant. Like no. He it's not. It just fuck. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like looking at it. I don't care that it's hard because I don't like to watch it.
But I think a good example of that is
also Michael Bay sucks, like as a person.
There's this one video that I really like of the Executioners. That it's like they're a group of like turntablists.
Yeah.
So a lot of their like albums, it's like a lot of rap stuff, and they're like doing the beat behind it. But
you said turntablists, and I heard tabletop. And
no, like they're DJs.
Yeah. I thought maybe they played like
they cut between vinyl records. And there's like this video of them beat juggling an LL Cool J song, and they're just doing these like insanely complex like juggles on the crossfader or whatever the fuck. Yeah. Just doing like these absolutely incredible like super like they just look like Dragon Ball Z characters. Like their hands are just going crazy, and you're like, how are you doing this? Like this sounds insane, and you're doing it all on purpose, but it's like garbage to listen to. It's not like, oh, this is a cool beat, like, because it's not what they're doing. They're just like, check out how I can use this crossfader like a maniac.
Yeah, there's versions of that stuff that I do like. So in that way, I understand why some people like. I still like math rock, and a lot of math rock is just that.
Yeah. That's by the way, that's Executioners Rock the Bells on YouTube. You can check that out.
Like I feel like a lot of people will listen to Giraffes, and go like, this is just the musical version of what Keith was shitting on Michael Bay for. But cut me some slack. Is this fun? You having fun?
I was having fun until I got to the part where I got totally demolished by a couple Hammer Brothers. Accurate to the Mario universe.
Yes.
But
have you beaten those Hammer Brothers?
No, because I'm trying to level up.
Oh, you're grinding.
I could have possibly gone in the wrong direction. Maybe there's another route that is not blocked by powerful Hammer Bros that I could check out.
Have you nailed? I've been watching, but I haven't been
leveled up.
There we go.
All right. That's it.
It's so weird that Mario has stats. Like that's super
I'm
fucking
going
weird.
from 0 defense to 2 defense. Sounds like a good improvement.
Sounds like a good improvement.
Oh, okay. I want more HP. More hip, please. HP. That's what it stands for. Health, please.
Health, please. We should do. This reminds me that I streamed some of this, and maybe it's not worth it to do like a real video of it since I already have the stream version of it. But I found this Pokemon fan game that has.
I saw that in our like Twitch recent stuff. It was like Solar Light and
Solar Light and Lunar Dark. And it's a Pokemon fan game, and it has 250 Pokemon in it, and all of them were designed by the two creators of this fan game.
Oops.
They're all entirely Pokemon, like, OC fan art characters.
Weird.
And, like, all the... I downloaded it to be like, let's make fun of these bad Pokemon, and they were all pretty fucking good.
These are all great.
Not only were they all great, but it gave me a feeling that I have not had since, like, Pokemon Gold, where I didn't know... Like, everything was kind of unfamiliar.
Well, isn't that every Pokemon game?
No, because I feel like now there's so many Pokemon, and I'm so familiar with, like, all of, like, now there's, like, 900 Pokemon, and I already know, like, 800 of them from all the other Pokemon games.
Oh, okay. I guess, like, for me, it's not like that. So, like, when I play Pokemon Y, it's, like, 15% Pokemon I recognize, and then, like, the rest is nonsense
Yeah.
to me. Like,
Well, and then it also, like... Because it's a fan game, I feel like I'm cutting it breaks. Where, like, if I see one that isn't super good designed, I'm not like, the design work on Pokemon is really taken downwards.
Yeah.
But, like, it's like 99% of them are cool, and then there's one kind of half-assed blue monkey named Monkey, and I'm like, all right, I can give you this one, Solar Light and Lunar Dark.
Here's my thought on that, though. And... I mean, I guess these guys, you know, they're not doing it for the paycheck. They're just doing it for that Pokemon love. But, like, at that point, if you're seriously making a Pokemon game where it's all Pokemon you made up, dude, just call it Nokamon and put it on Steam and, like roll in that cash.
It was using
Pokemon.
It was using, like, they designed all of those Pokemon, but they did not design any of the other assets of that game. Like, that game was just using...
You just redraw. Like, they drew Pokemon, right? Draw assets. Draw the rest of it.
I feel like the thing that they wanted to do was make exactly a Pokemon game, but with 250 things that you didn't recognize.
God, it just sounds like so much work.
It sounds like a ton of work. It's a ton of work, yeah. And a lot of them, I would say most of the ones that I saw, you could, like, see, oh, this was the inspiration from that. This one kind of looks like a Krabby or whatever. And there were a few that were like, that body looks like it came from the sprite of another Pokemon with this another part of a sprite of another Pokemon. But it was mostly like it looked like they had made up the entire thing. It was pretty impressive and really fun.
You know what I'm saying, though, right? That it sounds to me so much like they would put that on Steam and someone would be like, look, someone made, like, a game that's basically like Pokemon, but it's not Pokemon. That's awesome. No one's gonna be like, fuck you, rip-off Pokemon jerkhead.
I agree. I don't think many people would say that.
Ugh, I hate these Spike guys.
I also played, I think it was called Pokemon Rejuvenation, which is another Pokemon fan game that was not very good. Mostly because of pacing and because the city was not interesting to look at, but it was amazing at the front, like right at the start, because it was trying to be edgy and kind of badass. Like in the first 15 minutes,
Pokemon
like 30 people had died.
Oh,
like
man.
a bunch of people. Like there was a character that was like implied shot in the head, either by himself or an agent of the villain. Yeah, like it was intense, but in a really funny. There was dubstep all over it. It was fucking.
Oh no, I'm out of stuff. Oh god.
Can you run away?
This is really weird. Like I have to push X, the top button, to access my items. Then I also push that button to select it and use it. It's kind of interesting. Jeez. I got a tweet from somebody who said that they play this game like once a year or something.
It's not incredibly long.
No, it's not. I looked it up. Like, it's like 12 hours long or something.
Yeah.
Which, like, for most RPGs at that time, that's
very short.
Very short.
Almost laughably short.
Yeah, it's like a baby RPG.
Oh, you fucking got this. Bro, you got this.
Valor up. Oh no, this dude's full of valor
Oh my
now.
god, he's got a buff.
You know what's the most valiant? Stop fighting me.
Stop fighting me. I'm the good guy. Oh my god, did Bowser tell you that I was the bad guy? I'm the good guy.
Hammer Brothers, did Bowser trick you again?
Me? What about you?
Hammer time. Swing their mighty hammer around and then throw it.
I'm doing a spell to say no.
Say no.
Say no. Just say no to Kyle quoting that thing. What? How have you been, Kyle?
I'm good. Oh, come on, die.
You've got this.
Oh, boy. Ah, jeez.
Oh, boy. I do have...
Sorry,
what was
go
that?
ahead.
I do have one more thing to talk about, which is I spent a week. I don't work at Barnes & Noble anymore. I work at a pizza place delivering pizzas, and for a week I also worked as a waiter at a local chain.
How did that go?
I will tell you.
Okay. Please tell me. Oh, sweet, I got the hammer.